Let's have everyone give a big smile before we start. If you do it half as well as you did it last week, it would be magic. If you do it twice as well, we'll be going to the Oscars before you know it.
Hello. How are you guys doing today?
We're here and talking. What more can you ask?
I'm glad to be here with you good people.
I'm glad to be with you. Life is busy with my trips and my performances.
What's on your to-do list?
Talk to the electrician.
Plant and buy more flowers.
Get ready for another choir practice at the church.
Exercise at the racket club.
Connect with the kids and grandkids.
Decorate the church again.
Travel for the next performance of my play, Dementia Man.
Cut the grass, half today, half tomorrow.
Talk to some fine people online.
Garden club meeting at 1 o'clock.
Dementia Action Alliance drop-in meeting.
Connect with friends in town.
Bake kitchen sink cookies.
Pay bills.
Yes, please.
Which bill?
Whoa, as my memory changes, I have to use more things to help me remember. My handwriting has never been good. Even back in the 4th grade, I had to stay after school to work on it. But now, thanks to my Outlook calendar, I can use my speed typing skills instead. As long as it's on the calendar, I'm good.
For me, it's lists. Every night I write in my daily planner what I'm going to do tomorrow. Then it feels so good when I get to take my red pen and check off everything as I do it.
Lists work for me too. I keep track of all the special events and singing events with my wife. My memory isn't so good. Sometimes I'm more self-conscious than others. You learn who's willing to help you. I'm happy to tell people what they want to know. It works for some people. It doesn't work for others. Doesn't mean you don't try.
I've run a number of groups like this before. This is the first time that I've been a member of a group. When I was a leader, I didn't stutter so much, but I'm having a little trouble with that now. I wish my family, friends, and the people who try to help me could know what it's like to be me these days.
Maybe if we wrote an open letter to help them understand. Oh, well, here goes. To whom I may concern. I know you think I've made a mistake. You think I meant to write to whom it may concern. But it is not a mistake. This letter is not about it, a nameless, faceless object. Now, this letter is about an I, about me. I'm writing to let you know what it's like to be me these days. This is not just any letter to some unknown person or persons, a form letter that complains or advises. And don't worry, this isn't going to be one of those general holiday letters that people send to brag about their above average children, even though mine are above average. No one brags about the way my life has changed. Actually, most people don't even let others know about it. We keep quiet about this. You see, I have been diagnosed with dementia. Sounds bad, right? Actually, it's a terrible word to lose one's mind. You can see that I haven't lost my mind. I have some problems, yes, but I'm still managing one day at a time. Which brings me back to the purpose of my letter. I want to share with you what it's like to live with this terrible disease. Yes, it is a terrible disease, but that doesn't mean that my life is terrible. I want so much for you to understand that because I think it would make you more comfortable when we're together. I can't always find the words when I'm with you in person. Actually, that's part of the problem. Sometimes my mind goes blank, and by the time I find the words, well, you've already moved on to the next topic. I'm hoping the letter will be a better way to share my thoughts with you. The letter allows me to find the words without losing your attention. So here it goes. Let me start at the beginning, which takes me back to the first day of memory test and CT scans. Those were scary times. I've spoken to many others who have gone through the same thing. And for all of us, getting a diagnosis was the beginning of a whole new chapter in our lives.
Dear thyroid doctor, when I came to see you, I didn't think anything was wrong with my memory. Sure, I had a little trouble finding my way around, but that made sense because I just moved to Oregon from Arizona. And yes, I'd forget words sometimes. I've always been a little bit like Lucille Ball, so that seemed normal for me. You surprised me when you noticed I wasn't finishing my sentences and told me I should see a neurologist. Then the neurologist sent me to Portland for a brain scan, and I was diagnosed with dementia. I guess my reaction was really strange. I didn't get depressed and I didn't cry. I guess dementia wasn't a bad word for me. The neurologist has been so helpful and has given me some advice and wonderful hope. I'm doing lots of things they suggested, like cognitive therapy, eating a Mediterranean diet, and even getting those new drug infusions. I know it won't get rid of Alzheimer's, but it might slow it down. I'd like to live at least to 108 because I have so many projects I want to get done. I don't have enough hours in the day. I hope I never get depressed or cry about it. I have such good support around me, and I'm going to keep doing all the right things. With gratitude, Diana. P.S. Thank you for referring me to a neurologist when you did. I might still not know I had Alzheimer's if you hadn't sent me.
Dear neurologist, 10 years ago, when I asked my internist about my memory, he told me, oh, you're just an overeducated man overreacting to normal aging. So though I was confused, it took me a long time to see you. The internist back then had said to me, unless I couldn't remember what I had for breakfast. Well, the thing was, I couldn't remember what I had for breakfast that day. The journey ended with a psychologist prescribing me an antidepressant to help me cope with being a stressed CEO of a 40-person company. Now I wonder, would I have been diagnosed if I went to a neurologist back then? I thought the doctor would realize that something was wrong when I told him how I looked for memories inside my head and instead find myself tumbling into a black wall of infinity. Turns out it was an hallucination, but it felt so real. It was real to me. Yes, I was still told I was overreacting. And then one day I got lost in traffic in an area that I knew really well, and that was very alarming. Years later, when I found myself in your office, closed doors, big moment. This was a different kind of meeting. I didn't understand at first that I was being diagnosed. You were quiet, reserved, and wouldn't even make eye contact with me. This was hard for you too. I guess giving really bad news is a tough part of being a doctor. You have Alzheimer's disease. That's what you said. I've never grown up around anyone with Alzheimer's, so I didn't know exactly what this meant. I had no idea that I could live 5, 10, or maybe even more years before it would get a lot worse. I just didn't know what to expect. But I appreciated and do appreciate that you at least told me what I had. Respectfully, Sam.
Dear audience, I'm really delighted to be able to talk with you about my dementia. Sounds funny, doesn't it? You know, I have no idea where it's headed, but so far it's moderately benign. Happily, Bill B.
To whom I may concern, yes, diagnosis and evaluations are difficult times that don't go away. They're confusing and painful. Alzheimer's or FTD or whatever you have can turn your life upside down. One day you're feeling at the top of your game and then it's gone. In the days leading up to the diagnosis and for a long time afterward, you're pretty much in shock. You want answers, but at the same time, there's something in you that really doesn't want to know. And for many people, it can take more than one try and more than one doctor before we finally get the answer.
It's just normal aging.
Probably stress and depression.
It's MCI. What does that stand for? Mild cognitive impairment. Mild, well, at least that's not Alzheimer's.
For me, it's Alzheimer's.
Etc. Feels like a crapshoot. They give you a handful of pills, maybe a new drug that might do something, but certainly won't cure it. And then they tell you to come back in 6 months. 6 months? My life has just gone out the window, and he says, see you in 6 months. What do I do now?
We adapt. Actually, we adapt old habits to make them work for us now. For example, a notebook in your pocket. A notebook and the gift of gab can get you through many, many difficult situations. Everyone finds a way to cope. I've heard some amazing stories from people who are going through the same thing as me.
Dear Word Finder, where did you go? My wife can have word problems too, and she has no diagnosis for that. My dad was a stickler about the King's English, so I got a good education right at home whenever I misused or mispronounced a word. Intellect and education were always very important in our home. I have more degrees than anyone else in the family. I've always had this idea that one of the most important things you can do is to educate your brain. So I really feel it when I can't find words, when I can't get it right. Then I remember what other people said when they helped Maureen create this program. They all said, just give me a minute. Sometimes I just need another minute. Pausing. Bill M.
Dear singing friends, after many years of singing a lot of Gilbert and Sullivan from memory, I've decided to stop. It's sad. I've done almost every Gilbert and Sullivan operetta. A while ago, I even sang in a gig in London. But theatrical performances are a little too much now. And rehearsals were an hour and a half away. It's just not fair to all the rest of you to keep up with all that's required of us to sing our best. You'll be happy to know I'm still singing in one choir. My wife is a soprano and I sing tenor. It was like that when we first met in college. She was in the Radcliffe Choral Society and I was in the Harvard Glee Club. As we worked on a complicated piece, I took one look across the room and there was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Boy, when she looked at me, and that's how we got started singing together, and we've never stopped. I can't imagine a better way to live. Singing feeds me. Yours truly, Bill B.
Dear musical friends, every day I have laments. Giving up driving about a year ago was a huge loss after driving for 80 years. It's a different life and I get tired easily. I never know what it's about. Is it because of my diagnosis? Or is it that I'm 88 years old? My wife is very helpful and drives me where I need to go, but I do miss my freedom. So I wanted you to know that I've had to drop my membership in the Greenwich Choral Society because rehearsals are in the next town over. I had a blast singing with so many skilled people for 10 years. I've been singing my whole life. My earliest memories are waking up on Sunday mornings and hearing my dad warming up for his solo at the piano down the hallway in our home. I've been in at least 3 different choirs over the years, but recently some of the music was getting too heavy for me. I still sing with a small group at the church, even solos. I don't have much trouble finding words when I'm singing, so I think music helps me. Harmoniously, Bill M.
To whom I may concern. So we're doing our best to adapt, to continue living our lives. But the ground under our feet is shifting. Those early days are difficult, not knowing, suspecting, guessing. For some people, the awareness came quickly because they already had a family member with dementia, a mother, a father, or a sister. Hard to fool yourself when you already lived through it with a loved one or a friend. But even if you know what Alzheimer's is about, living day to day is a real challenge. Forgetting, that's a big part of it. Thoughts coming a bit slower, words missing. Your mind goes blank. Somebody summed it up so well in one little phrase, just give me a minute.
Dear old friends, please don't tell me that I'm doing too much. I'm not giving up on my life just because I've got Alzheimer's. I don't have enough hours in my day. I have so many projects I want to get done. You can't believe how many. A lot of my friends tell me, Diana, you haven't changed a bit. I hope they're telling me the truth because I don't feel different. I think it's just always very important to be nice to people. I talk nicely to people in the grocery store, people I don't even know. I'll be nice to you if you'll be nice to me. Still living, hopefully, Diana.
Dear hole that I keep sinking into. I'm coming to visit you again, like I do on all birthdays, anniversaries, and each new year. I love the initial moment of celebration. Happy birthday, whatever the occasion. But then there's that little sinking feeling. Are you feeling it too? That drop of, what is this year going to be like for you, Sam? Or is this going to be your last year together? Our last year together? I know it can sound morbid, but I thought I'd at least be honest. I wish it was always a simple matter of how can we make the best of this year? When my wife went through her breast cancer, the doctors pulled me aside and they said, get ready, Sam. We walked right up to the abyss with that one. Are sudden losses easier to deal with than the ones that take a long time? What it comes down to is that we have to make the best of the time we do have left. I need not to sink down low with this. I need to be able to enjoy being with the ones I love for however long I have with them. Still, I'm still holding on to hope. Sam.
To my wife, Maureen, whom I may concern. I remember the day you came home from your doctorate program at NYU. You were excited because you thought of the name to whom I may concern for this program that you had created. I'm glad I had practiced patent, trademark, and copyright law so I could help you get it registered and as a trademark. Even before I was diagnosed, I had some great opportunities on your journey of creating dramatizations for people who have dementia. I remember the time when there were around 700 audience members, and one woman's husband came up on stage to comfort her when she cried. That's when I said, "That's what love looks like, folks. Don't miss it." I still cry every time I tell that story. Tissues were flying everywhere. There was an enormous amount of a sharing of grief, and there wasn't a dry eye in the place. If there's any value to this program, it's that it brings people to that point where they're not ashamed to show their feelings. Instead, they're in sync and creating emotional moments. Thank you, Maureen, for being what love looks like for me. This program is a wonderful thing for me and so many others. Proud as ever, Bill Amp.
To my wife, Susan, thanks for understanding that when I get too loud, I'm really not screaming at you. I'm just frustrated. And I know it's not good. I'm still trying to figure it out. I think one of us just needs to exit when I get that way. I'm trying to use what I learned in my improv acting class to accept, say yes when I'm told, and add my thoughts with a yes and instead of arguing. I know that the ultimate gift is being with someone you love until they take their last breath. That is what love really, in my opinion, means. I was once on the other side of this, caring for you when you were ill. So I really, really appreciate that you're now returning that gift. Thank you. Your soul companion, Sam.
My wife, Lucinda. You're really on the ball and catch me when I stumble. You ask me what I'm trying to say or what I want to do, then lovingly help me to do it. I don't want to impose on you. It's a push-me-pull-you relationship. There have been moments that had to be worked out, but they worked out. And there's no stops. It's wonderful. Lovingly, Bill B.
To my husband, Bob, I am so lucky. You treat me with love and kindness every day. You're just a wonderful man. You've never been in a bad mood. I love our daily routines, especially the happy hour we have every day in honor of our old dog, Hondo. It's so much fun watching Gunsmoke together while you enjoy a Diet Coke and I have my Starbucks. And the dogs love having a few bites of the summer sausage Hondo used to love. Every day with you since we met in the 6th grade has been fantastic. Just wonderful. Yours for another 60 years, Diana. Thanks to my Bob for spoiling me every single day.
Thanks to Maureen for driving me all over the place.
Thanks to all our lifelong companions.
What would we do without you as our loving, cognitive support people? To whom I may concern, the words and the memories come slower or not at all. This disease has a way of silencing you. The plaques and tangles are doing their jobs, whatever that is. But we're not the only ones who are changing. Dementia has a way of changing the people around us as well. We have friends and loved ones and even healthcare professionals who treat us very differently when they learn we have cognitive changes. This disease can bring out the best in people and sometimes, sadly, the worst. I've heard stories that really warm your heart and others that make you cry.
Dear friends, was given my diagnosis, I didn't tell any of you for several months. I can tell you now that it was because I didn't want any of you to feel sorry for me. Eventually, I realized that it's harder to keep the secret than not. So I decided to say something, and I'm really glad I did. You've been so very supportive. I just want to say thank you. It was only later that I started to let you know, and boy, am I glad I did, because you've all been supportive, and thankfully, you don't feel sorry for me. Confident in our relationship and friendship, Diana.
Dear language users, I need you to know that I really do not like the word dementia. It's just that whenever people think of or about that word, they immediately think of the end stage. You know, the person in the memory room staring blankly into the sky. But for those of us who are living with a cognitive disease, it is not helpful. I'm not crazy. I'm not mad. I'm not demented. We're hoping to have a good many years. So that's why I hate the D word, because it's degrading and it creates a negative vision that people have of us. Besides, I am not crazy, mad, nor insane. As you can see, I'm quite able to talk and think, occasionally cause trouble, yet I have dementia. Maybe we could just call it what it is, a neurocognitive disorder. Looking for better language. Sam.
Kindness can ease the pain of an embarrassing situation. Humor helps too. When I told a friend recently that I had this memory problem, he came back with a quick joke. Don't you owe me $20? Friends can be great.
Dear Garden, thanks for listening to me. I've never been a good singer, but when I'm outside, I can sing to the flowers and to our donkey Festus. Festus even lets me give him a kiss on his nose every day. I like to sing hymns. I also like singing You Are My Sunshine. My chickens really love that song, but it's gardening that I really love. I love digging in the dirt, and my little dog Walter just loves to dig right beside me, making a joyful noise. Diana.
Dear person who is noticing brain changes, if you have a partner who works in a dementia-related field, then let me warn you, you won't get away with anything. Maureen recognized right away that I had the issues around word finding and remembering. I noticed my thinking was deteriorating, and so did she. Anyway, I thought you should know. You can't hide these changes from those you love, especially when they do this professionally. Wisely, Bill M.
Dear wonderful people around me, thanks for helping me find a word when I had to stop and think. It keeps me humble. Thanks also for helping us with this big, wonderful old house. It's been in my wife's family for over 100 years. When I was first diagnosed, I didn't think about gathering help around us. But that all changed the day that I stepped through the old floorboards and suddenly found myself in the basement. Talk about putting your foot in it, not exactly what I had in mind. We've rebuilt now. One person going through the hole is enough. Finding yourself flat on the floor or diagnosed with brain changes, it makes you appreciate the people who are willing to help. It's been wonderful having so many friends helping me with renovations or stopping by to say hi. It's also great to have our daughter just a couple of towns away. When my son and daughter-in-law told us about the program that was happening, they said, "Come out and sit between us, we'll have fun." I treasure people like these. Treading carefully, Bill B.
To whom I may concern. Some doors open, others close. Through it all, we hold on to hope.
Dear Garden Club, I want to thank you for inviting me to be secretary of the club, even though I told you I had early onset Alzheimer's. I know you put faith in me because the past president saw that I take pages and pages of notes at every meeting. I'm trying to learn all that I can about gardening methods for this climate. I was in Arizona for 33 years, so I have a lot to learn about growing things in Oregon. I don't want to disappoint you, so I'll do my very best. I love staying busy and helping out. One of my favorite things is to be in my garden. I'm so delighted with my rose garden. I know it's only been a year, but all the roses are doing really well, and I have big plans for what to do next. The perennials are coming up, and I'm ready to get some annuals for my pots on the back deck. This is such fun for me. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think about it all year long, and I take lots of notes about what I'm doing. It's a nice thing to do. Horticulturally yours, Diana.
Dear retailers, I have a really important suggestion to make to you. Wouldn't it be a cool idea to have a special service counter in every store, like with a sign that has these big yellow flowers on it? You know, kind of like the flowers on the lanyard I wear to the airport, to let workers know that I might need a little more help and understanding. A special service counter would be so helpful because it would let me know that you have people trained to help those of us living with a cognitive disorder. If you do that, it would be such a relief for those of us who walk in and get confused or lost. It would help us shop or find our way, or just give us a friendly person we could check in with. It would help me shop on my own, just like ramps help people using wheelchairs to shop on their own. Thanks, Sam.
Dear day in the future, yet to be determined. I know the day is coming when I'm going to not be able to find my words anymore. Sometimes I think it may be closer than others. I may not be able to find a word I'm searching for, and it's irritating. It can be strenuous. It's not really the words that are the important part anyway. What's important is the feelings that they carry. I'm trying to get my memories written down lately. Not what I did so much as how the moments felt and what they meant to me. Singing in church in England was a powerful feeling. I might not be able to sing in England again, but now I get the same wonderful feeling in my own backyard. As much as I dread losing my words, I know there's worse, and I don't know when it's gonna come. For now, I just need to do the best I can with what I've got. Meaningfully, Bill B.
To whom I may concern. What more can I tell you? Let me just end by going back to the I of your concern. You can see from our stories that we are ordinary people trying to make the most of a difficult situation. We don't want to disappear or become invisible. We're doing all of the things the experts say we should be doing. We exercise our minds and our bodies. We keep up with the research. We take our pills. We also try to forgive. I know that they sound funny. Forgetting is at the heart of the problem. but we try to forget about our illness. We don't want it to define us. We are more than our memory. And on that note, let me end this letter. Enough about me. Let's get together soon so I can hear how you are. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your concern. Gratefully, Sam.
Energetically, Diana.
Affectionately, Bill.
Joyfully, Bill. At the end of this script, but the work will continue. Stay tuned.
I've really enjoyed being with this group. It's the first time I've been with a group quite like this, and feel like I'm in company with people going through just the same things I'm going. So thank you very much.
I'm grateful for that we're all doing it together.
Well, I'm glad to be on this end of the stick, so to speak. I've sat through 25 or 30 of these performances, always on the audience end. And now I get to participate. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed being with this group. These gentlemen are all such wonderful, nice people. And we all have dementia problems. And it's always so interesting to hear their stories as well. They're really nice people, and I really appreciate the opportunity to do this.
It's been wonderful. Sometimes people feel invisible and unheard and unseen. And for me, it's a privilege to sit and enjoy your stories and your humor and your genuine care. And I hope this is an opportunity that you can be seen as full people still, not just that person with.
Yeah, and I was going to say pretty much the same thing. Thank you so much for welcoming Rosie and myself into your group, letting us hear your stories. You all have changed our lives by being so open about your own. And you also are going to impact so many other people's understanding of dementia. And that means the world to me, that you're doing this on behalf of some of the people who can't speak so well for themselves. And I appreciate that you were honest both about the joys and the challenges. So thank you so much for that.